Good evening. I'll start with the President's report. I want to start by acknowledging this evening that this is both Teacher Appreciation Week and also School Nurses Appreciation Week. We are so thankful for all of the work that you do every single day, not only to educate, but to care for our children. We know that they are in excellent hands when we send them to school each day. To our teachers, we know that you are stellar educators, and we thank you for the instruction you provide each and every day, but it's so much more than that. You help our kids find their paths and mentor them along them, and you care for them. As parents, that means the world. Speaking personally, our family dog died very suddenly yesterday, and I knew that I could send my heartbroken child into school today, and however the day went, she would be cared for, truly in loco parentis, and as a parent, that means everything. So thank you. And to our nurses, you are there for our kids and for us when our kids are hurt or feel ill. It's always so hard to know that your child is not okay when you're not physically there, but we know that our children are in wonderful hands until we can get to them. So most sincerely, on behalf of all of us, thank you. Two other very quick things. We met earlier today for a work session to discuss refining our process for vetting external speakers moving forward. I think we feel comfortable that we have a better understanding of what that process needs to look like as we look towards next year. Also, I wanted to let the community know that the policy committee will meet over the summer and look at our facilities use policies for non-CCSD programs to ensure that all CCSD students will be treated equally for programming that takes place in our spaces. That's really all that I have to share. I just want to note that under the President's report tonight, we have one item, which is 1.1.1, which is be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association proposed 2024-2025 budget and the nominating committee slate, and authorizes the board president to sign the West Putt annual meeting ballot. Just in case anybody in the community is not aware, West Putt is the, as it says, the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association. They're an entity that provides us with a lot of opportunities for training, for mentorship as school board members, as opportunities for professional growth and professional learning, and to provide a community for school board members in the Westchester Putnam area to work together to discuss issues that districts may be facing, and we find them to be an incredible resource, so we're happy to support them. I will move 1.1.1. Can I have a second?
A second.
Any questions or concerns? All in favor?
Thank you, Josh. And so before we move into the library budget presentation, I did want to share with the community an update on our staff belonging survey, which is appropriate considering we're at Teacher Appreciation Week and Nurse Appreciation Week. And so what we have been doing over the course of the past 3 years is we have been surveying our students on their sense of belonging, and we also decided through our district equity team that it was important for us to survey our staff as well as have an understanding of the resources that they would like us to focus on in terms of professional development and supporting our students in our classroom around our SEL work. And so the survey for staff is similar to the students, just with different questions, and it focuses on belonging, well-being, cultural awareness, and action. And then we ask some background questions so we can do some analysis on who's responding. And then in addition to the district report, each building has a report that they are working through with their school-based equity teams, and will be sharing with their staff next week in their meetings. But I do want to share with you that when we compare this year's survey with last year's survey, we saw an increase in a lot of our areas that our staff were reporting around certain indicators that we were asking about work. And so we had about 65% of our staff take the survey, 76%. So if we have two groups, we have our teachers and administrators and our teaching assistants. So they have one version of survey, and then our staff, our secretaries and custodians, have a different version. So we had about 76% of our teaching staff, instructional staff respond, and about 32% of our custodians and non-instructional staff responding. And so I just want to show you that in terms of national averages, we are above or at national average in the way that our staff, specifically our instructional staff, responded to our belonging, well-being questions, along with our cultural awareness and action questions that are focused on themselves and then focused on their work with our kids. And we saw an increase in those areas. Well, it might be slight if you look at the overall performance. And then you can look at the subgroups. And you can see that 98% of our staff reported that they felt that their work mattered to them. 95% felt that the work is meaningful. 89% felt engaged. 87% felt excited at work. We have 57% of our staff feeling stressed, and so while there's a slight increase in some of these, those are things that we need to keep thinking about, the stress level of our staff who are working here. And then we saw increases in people feeling satisfied at their jobs, increases in effectiveness. We saw an increase of people feeling worried at work, so we have to think about that. We saw an increase in our staff feeling safe at work at 54%, and we saw an increase of our staff reporting that they were feeling happy at work. So some of these are trending in the right direction. We always continue to need to think about like stress levels and things that we can do in the environment to address some of that concern, and that'll be the work that's done by the building-based teams, and they'll share up with us some things that they're thinking about collectively through our group DET of some of the moves that they're making based on what they're hearing from their staff around stress. But I'm happy to share with you that we have a lot of staff feeling really good about working here, and I think that's important for the community to know. And so,
if that's done, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
The word worried, do we have kind of vague?
Yeah.
We try to dig down as the teams talk to the people at school what worried
yes.
about.
So part of that is, so that's part of the work. Like what are you worried about? What is stressing you out, right? So those are questions, because they're different by building, because the needs are different of our kids. And so those are things that the building-based team will tease out with their staff as we plan forward. I also want to share with you on the agenda, there are two important agreements with the teachers union for your consideration. The first is an SMOA to form a K through 12 staff administrative group of our team to work on the strategic plan over 2 years, because we have some big decisions that need to be made. And so we felt like it was important for us to have a working group so that we collectively talk about those decisions together. And then the second is to continue our district equity team, because we're at the end of a 2-year cycle. And so moving forward, that team is actually going to add parents to that committee. And so we're going to talk with our new district equity team when we have that in place, how to start facilitating parent participation, because that is the next layer of this work as outlined in our strategic
Christine,
plan. Yes.
can I ask you about the survey results? Are they drilled down for you all by building? So you can see if a given building is feeling more stressed and worried versus another?
Yes. And so what the building team will do, because they all have their individual building results, is they will process that out with their school-based equity team and their larger staff, and that they're planning to do that next Tuesday during their faculty meetings. And we did that last year as well, and
Great.
it's helped. And so I think we've seen some improvements over how our staff is responding to that survey based on some of the decisions that the SCTs and the DET made in response to the survey.
Great,
So
thanks.
it's a good model for us to follow. And any other questions about that? Okay, so then Adam, do you want to talk about the CSF Instagram on the agenda?
Yeah, so the CSF generously funded a hydroponics room over at Grafflin, and it's been such a success. It's amazing how much like vegetation they're growing, plants, herbs, edibles, and they actually put in an additional grant, Linda Bosco and Deb Allspa, for $1,100 to get an additional tower. Right now, they have one of their towers completely full, filled up with strawberries, and so strawberries take a while to produce strawberries, and so they'd like to grow some greens in an additional tower. So we thank the CSF for that, and that'll be over at the Grafflin Hydroponics Center.
Thank you. And so I just want to remind everyone, I know Josh had shared this earlier, but our budget vote is Tuesday, May 21st, and then there'll be opportunities to meet with Josh and I during the week, and then we'll have our team at the farmer's market. So if anyone has any questions that they want to talk about, it doesn't even have to be related to the budget. We welcome those conversations. I know I did parent coffees last week. They were during the day. This is an opportunity for parents who couldn't make those coffees. If they have other issues they want to talk about as well, they can certainly bring those forward, and we can have those discussions at these moments as well. And so we have a bunch of events between now and the next board meeting. We have concerts. We're getting ready to transition our new students to the middle school. We have our performances. Relay for Life is on the 18th. We have a big art festival happening here. We have a chorus concert. So we look forward to, we're starting to celebrate the end of the year, so it's getting exciting for us. And so we look forward to all these culminating activities for our students. And so we hope our parents can attend.